The village was never the same again after that night. People avoided Ola's home, crossing themselves whenever they had to pass by. But the most terrifying part was the silence. No one heard from Ola, Agama, or the child. Some villagers claimed to see shadows moving behind the curtains at night. Others heard the faint cry of a baby when the wind blew just right. Rumors spread that Agama had gone mad and was now a prisoner in his own home, tormented by the spirits of the curse. Months passed, and Wanyema, the herbalist, was found dead under a mysterious circumstance. The elders believed she had angered the spirits by tampering with powers beyond her control. A new family moved into the village and, unaware of the dark history, took an interest in the abandoned home of Ola and Agama. The house, though neglected, still held a strange allure. The husband, Obinna, was skeptic and dismissed the warnings of the villagers as mere superstition. But on the first night in the house, strange things began to happen. Obinna's wife, Ada, felt something brush against her leg as she slept. She woke to find a small muddy footprint on the sheets. Frightened, she woke Obinna, but he insisted it was just a dream. The next morning, Ada found a charm hidden under the bed, similar to the one Wanyema had given Ola. The charm was old and frayed, but the moment Ada touched it, she felt a sharp pain in her ear. Later that day, she noticed that her left ear had grown slightly larger. But as the day passed, the mysterious events escalated. The whispers in Ada's ear became more frequent, and she began to see shadows out of the corner of her eyes. The footprints appeared again, but this time leading out of the house and into the dense forest that bordered the village. Determined to uncover the truth, Ada ventured into the forest, following the footprints to an old, forgotten shrine. There, she found the remains of Wanyema, her body still clutching a warm journal. The journal contained the dark secrets of the curse and revealed that the spirits had claimed Ola, Agama, and the child. But the curse was not satisfied. The spirits demanded a new sacrifice. A child born under the same condition. Ada, now pregnant herself, realized in horror that the curse has chosen her unborn child as its next victim. Desperate to save her child and her family, Ada sought out the village elders, but they refused to help. Terrified of invoking the wrath of the spirits, in a final desperate attempt, Ada returned to the shrine, her belly heavy with the impending birth. As she stood before the shrine, the winds howled and the shadows began to move. The spirits demanded their due, and Ada knew there was no escape. With a heavy heart, she placed the charm on the altar and whispered a prayer. The night Ada gave birth, the storm returned, but this time, it wasn't just the village that shook, it was the entire region. And as the storm raged, the villagers had a voice cried on the wind. The curse is broken, but the mark remains. The next morning, the storm had passed, and the village was eerily quiet. The house that once belonged to Ola and Agama stood empty again, but the charm Ada had left on the altar had vanished. The footprints in the forest disappeared, and the shadows no longer moved. But Ada knew the truth. The curse might have been broken, but the mark would be carried by her child, a child born with a large ear and the knowledge of what's locked in the darkness.